tell your story.
Because it helps, but probably diminishes the real.
Do you guys want to come tell a story? Pick a marker. All right. Go ahead and on the profit and loss sheet, tell us the story of your week 3. All right.
So what's our gross profit?
So our idea to increase income was to get a second person to advertise. So hire another cute little boy. Here.
Our neighbors.
So this is going to be under the profit and loss one. This one over here. And it's going to be. So that will increase our selling expenses to $14. No selling expenses. And then our wages stay the same, so $12.
Everybody come back for reporting back.
From here, this
Shane? We're recording. Sorry, we're recording back.
So we that increased our profit to $60. Our sales. Sorry.
6?
We did really good, okay? So we have really good signs and really cute kids. So then that also increased our expenses, our materials, to $20.
Yeah, see, they spent more.
So our gross profit is now $40. And our net profit is $14. So then the net profit goes back into the checking account. So we have a balance of $36. And we said that our machinery didn't depreciate, so we just kept it at the $9. Then now we have a total assets of $45. And we still have our money, luckily, so $0. And then now our members are value of, how do you say it?
The value of the members' equity. Yeah.
Okay, is they're each getting, well, each is $11.25, so $45 in total. Just put $45. And then our total liability equity is $45 in total.
Nice work, people. So what does that $45 tell you?
We're
Tell me.
They made
What is
money.
45?
tells me that
You're in the black.
You're winning the money now.
You're back up, right?
made
yeah.
profit.
Yeah.
Made back
You
our
started with
initial-
10.
Yeah.
Now you've made some money.
Yeah.
Okay?
You made like at least $1.
You made $1 on
Yeah.
your 10. All right? And that's about as good as you're gonna hope for. So who else wants to tell a story? We're gonna tell 1 or 2 more stories, and then we're gonna have dinner.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. I just know I had a question about
Yeah,
that
yeah.
in terms of, so the break-even point is for the members who put the $10 into the end, so they're the investors, and then there's separate money on there for the workers, because each day there was $6
Yeah.
going out to 2 people, so $12 going out, and so
Yeah.
would this be a classic thing where it's not a co-op, or are those 2 people working also some of the members who invested in the first place? Because then there's 2 of them who are working
Okay.
and 2 who
So
work.
you
How
said,
does
let
that
me
work?
say, the first thing that you said was the break-even point. The break-even point is when your profit goes above 0. Okay. And the way that you talk about your break-even point is how many cups of lemonade do we need to sell to cover our overhead expenses? That's our break-even point, right? So if we made, let's see, if we sold $35 worth of lemonade and we sold, 100 cups of lemonade, how much did we charge for each cup? We charged 35 cents.
Oh, 35
Right?
cents.
So we charge 35 cents for each one, because we're trying to get money in our tip jar, right? That's how you get money in your tip jar, because everybody wants to break $1 and they're just going to put the extra 65 in your tip jar. Forget I said that. Okay, so we sold 100 cups of lemonade for 35 cents. That's how we made $35, right? What's our gross profit per cup of lemonade?
11 cents?
24 cents. So for every cup of lemonade we sold, we made 24 cents, right? Which is really good. So then what we would need to do is say, how many cups of lemonade do we need to sell to cover our overhead expenses? And we don't need to do that right now, but if you did that, that's your break-even point, okay? That was the first thing you said. And then the second part of what you said.
Well, I'm just confused in terms of, so in a co-op situation where it's worker owners, it's not just you have the investors, you have the workers, and they're separate people, but if
Right.
it's worker owners,
Good point.
how does that show up in here?
Right. Okay, so as worker owners, there's two sides to that, right? There's worker and there's owner. The worker shows up on the profit and loss under wages, right? So you're getting paid as a worker, as an employee of this business. You got paid $6 an hour because it's 1984. As an owner of the business, you invested in the business. You invested your $10, right? You also are getting a return on your investment in addition to your wages. You get two different sources of income.
There are 4
One is
of us.
worker, one is owner.
So there are 4 of us, so 2 of us went out one day and 2 of us went out day 2.
Sure.
So we've each made 6, so we've made $7 total.
Yeah.
Isn't in a co-op, if I decide to leave the co-op, I can only take out the amount of my original investment?
Good. What happens if you leave the co-op?
You get $10.
No. You're banned.
You're supposed to get $10 back, right?
Yeah.
What happens if you try to leave the co-op in day 8 or day 15?
You get less money.
The co-op doesn't have it to pay you back, right? And the value of your investment has gone down.
But then what's the incentive for me, this is being a little bit like cash hungry, but what's the incentive for me as a co-op owner to want to see the equity line increase if it's not, increase above my initial investment?
Well, because if you ever want that money back, you better see that
But
increase.
her point is, if you're only getting back what you invested, what's the point?
To go higher than your initial investment.
Right. So out here, your investment is now up to 45.
Okay,
So
so
now
you
if
do
you
get
left,
that.
yes.
So it's not your
Right.
So you can get more than what you initially
Oh
invested.
yeah,
Okay,
yes.
that's better.
So this accumulates over time. If the co-op is doing well, it's more than what you put in. If it's not doing well, it's less than you put in. And
But-
what, yeah.
I'm sorry, isn't that something that you decide when you set up your co-op? Whether or not somebody can pull out their whole
You do have to decide that.
lot or
What
not?
most co-ops do is that they don't want you to be able to take out your whole investment in 1 year. So usually they say the co-op has 3 or 5 years to pay you back because they don't want to be, paying out this $11 in cash. Because if a member leaves, right, then it's like $11 cash goes out the door immediately. So $11 cash goes out of there, $11 cash goes out of here, and nothing has happened on the profit and loss, right? The member just left, and they took their $11 with them. And now this business has $11 left, $11 less with which to do business, which means you don't have as much cash as you had, so you're not so psyched about that.
So in that case, if someone leaves but they're getting paid back over a period of time, their equity on that line would just get transferred up to a liability, so it would still show up on the bottom
Yes.
half, but it would be.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is everybody's brain fried?
Yes.
Great. I think we should eat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.